My name is Andy Perrin. I'm an assistant professor of religious studies, and I'm the director of the Dead Sea Scrolls Institute. The Dead Sea Scrolls are about 1,000 fragmentary manuscripts. They were found in caves about 70 years ago, just off the northwest shores of the Dead Sea. In that library, we've got our earliest copies of almost every book of the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible, as well as hundreds of ancient Jewish compositions that really give us a lens into the culture, the life, the thought of ancient Judaism at a really critical period for the New Testament. My first introduction to the scrolls was actually by a guest lecture from two profs that used to teach here that started the Scrolls Institute. And what sparked my interest is they caught me at a really critical time in my own kind of academic journey, where I was just starting to see that the Bible's not just a book full of stories. As a book, it has a story, it has a biography. If the Bible is as important as many modern Christians think it is and say it is, then it really deserves our close consideration and pressing it with hard questions. Where did the words of Scripture come from? It's got to start with the Dead Sea Scrolls, because that's our earliest known witnesses in many cases to almost every book of the Old Testament. On the other side of the coin, though, we've got the New Testament. The scrolls come from a world that's before that, even beyond it. Yet, most modern Christians, we miss or misunderstand that ancient Jewish context. It's not a world that we walk in. It's not a world that we're familiar with. I think at times history and theology get pitted against each other. But what I enjoy doing and working with students is trying to enter into that world, not just for fact recall or to learn something new about ancient culture, but to ask, how is it that culture in the ancient world as today shapes the way beliefs work? We try to travel a lot with our kids. I think showing that the world is a rich and complex place is really important. And we've loved having the chance to be with them in Israel, living just down the block from the old city. Even though kids don't remember those experiences, they're really formative to them. Those family adventures really shape who they are. About a year ago, I had one of these moments with our daughter reading a kid's Bible, and all of a sudden she halted me. We were reading something in the Gospels of Jesus in the Sea of Galilee, and she said, "Hold on a second, is this real? Did this actually happen?" And in that moment, as a dad, but as a dad with a PhD in the Bible, you've got to realize you can't lecture your 5-year-old on historical criticism. So I said to her, well, one of the things we could say for sure is, yeah, this is real, because you and I have been there. We experienced this place. And we actually had a picture of her and I in Capernaum on the Sea of Galilee. And she didn't remember being there, but I could show it to her. And then that was a way of saying to her, at least for a 5-year-old, you're asking a really big question. But one of the ways you experience the Bible is by traveling. Or in our case here at Trinity, by experiencing manuscripts, by putting your hands on something, by even just touching something that's ancient, is a way of kind of experiencing that world and shaping the way you view the Bible.